Hi guys, this is Pestillion and welcome to another Escape from Tarkov video. In this video I'm covering all of Ragman's tasks. If you want to skip straight ahead to a specific task, there'll be timeline stamps in the description below. Also, if there's any minor changes, you'll find them in the pin post. Or if there's a heap of new changes or a new task added to the game, I'll be remaking the whole video and that link will be found in the description or in the pin post down below. So be sure to check those spots. So guys, without further ado, let's crack straight into it. Only business. With this one, you have to get Ragman to loyalty level 2. At the moment, that's 750,000 rubles. Personally, the way I do it is as soon as I get into Escape from Tarkov and start playing, I level up by buying every single packer an SSH-68 helmet as the resets go. And then by the time I get to level 15, I would have already spent probably 500,000 rubles with him, and I would have a solid collection of helmets and armor. If you take a little bit longer to get to level 15, this will actually easily be at 750k, and this is the way I would highly suggest doing it. But if you are running a bit short, any excess clothing, rigs, all that kind of stuff, you should just sell back to him. If you're desperate and you're up to the point where you're level 15 and you've just got the extra money, you can buy hats and sell them back to him, and you will be able to level this up to Ragman level 2 pretty quickly. As soon as you have this level 2, you can hand it straight in. Make Ultra great again. So with this one, you need to go into interchange and kill 25 scavs. I will have a highlighted map to show you the locations where you can get 25 scavs pretty easily. But the main premise is just go down the straight center of the map. You want to go through that whole center corridor down to Goshen. Then you will have scavs that will spawn in Idea and Ollie. The later into the raid it is, the more scavs that will spawn on those side areas. But the main corridor is always a safe place to go to get scavs. Well, not a safe place, a place you can get plenty of scavs. On top of that, Killer does spawn in the middle, so he does count as a scav. And if you wait about 5 to 10 minutes into the raid and head over to the power station, you'll be able to kill scavs there too. Big sale. With this one, you're required to go inside 5 of the stores within Interchange. Avocado is located outside of Generic. You just walk straight into the store and you'll be able to get this one ticked off. From there, I would head down towards the tech stores, past Rasmussen. There you will find Top Brand and you'll be able to tick that one off. Hugging down the corridor along the front of the mall, then you will get down to Dino Clothes. From there, at the end, turn right, you'll hit Trend. After entering Trend, you'll have one store left being Costin. You kind of head past Emicon and you'll get to Costin. You will be required to survive the raid and leave, but you can tick these off over multiple raids. Blood of War Part 1. With this one, you're required to mark 3 tanks throughout the interchange map. The first tank is located at the very front of the mall, all the way up to the wall. There's like a tent camp with a tanker next to it. You'll be able to mark this one here. The next one is located over at the power station. Out the front of the power station, you'll see the tanker there. And then following the road down the back of the mall, heading towards the Emicon extract, you'll find the 3rd tank. After you've marked the 3rd one, survive the raid and extract, and you can hand this in. Dress to kill. This one, you're required to get 7 Ushanka ear flap caps and 7 cowboy hats. Now the Ushanka hats, you will find them quite easily across the maps on scavs. They're fairly common. Alternatively, by this stage you can buy them off the flea market and they should be fairly cheap. However, the cowboy hats are quite expensive. Because they need to be found in raid, on the flea market they will be expensive to buy. If you do get to Ragman level 3 by the time you have this quest, which will be around level 30, you can do the barter trade for Cordura and a Keck tape for a cowboy hat. Otherwise, if you look at the mannequins as you're walking around the mall of Interchange, on top of the mannequins' heads, you can actually find cowboy hats and Ushanka hats. But they're not super common, but it's definitely a way that you can pick these up. They do spawn on top of scavs, however. Gratitude. For this one, you're required to get a Ghost Balaclava, a Shamag, Ray Bench sunglasses, and round frame sunglasses. After you have all 4 of these items, you're required to go into woods, and at the front of the lumber mill, closest to the lake, you'll see a little pier going out. Once you get onto the pier, you go prone and you place these down, and they take 30 seconds each to place. This one takes quite a while and it's quite freaky to try and place them down and get them all done in time. If you're having issues in between each one trying to place them down, just double tap tab and you'll be able to quickly go out and in of the menu and be able to get the next one down. Once you've placed all 4 down, you do not need to survive the raid to hand this in. Sales Night. This one requires you to survive 7 raids of interchange. It's very straightforward. All you have to do to get this complete is survive the raid of the map by either getting 600 XP and leaving the raid, or waiting 10 minutes and leaving interchange. This one's a good one to just do over time, but if you want to rush through it, that's the requirements to do it. Hot delivery. For the first part of this, you need to get 2 Gazelles, 2 6B47 helmets, and 2 Peltor Comtacs. Once you have all 6 of these, head into interchange. There's 2 locations required to place these down. The first one is located at the front of the mall. You'll see a giant stage, and as you look at the stage from the front, to the right hand side there's a garbage pile. The 2 Gazelle armors will get placed down there. These do not need to be fully repaired or anything, they can be totally destroyed, just 2 Gazelle armors to place them down. After that, you want to head into the mall. You need to go into Avocado, it's across from Generic. In the back corner of the Avocado store, you will find a rubbish pile. Once you go up to the rubbish pile, go prone and place 4 of these down here. So the 2 6B47 helmets and the Peltor Comtacs. Once these are placed down, you do not need to survive the raid to hand this in, and you can move on to the next task. Database Part 1. For this task, you're required to go into Ollie, Idea, and Goshen to get the manifest. All of these are located in the computer room sections of each of these areas. Starting off with Idea, you are required to go into the computer office area on the left-hand side of Idea as you enter from the front of the store. Once you're in there, there's a heap of computers on the desk in the middle. You'll be able to find the manifest there. Heading over to Goshen. If you were standing at the front of Goshen looking at the store from the front, turn directly to your left and you'll see a double door. Go through the double doors and then there's another doorway there. That's where you'll find the computer room. Once you go into the computer room, you'll see like a U-shaped section of desks. In that U-shape, you'll find the manifest on top of the desk. The third and final one is located in Ollie. For this one, if you're looking at Ollie from the front, head to the front right-hand side and move about halfway into the store. You'll find a computer desk area with 2 computers. Next to the computer, you'll find the manifest. Survive the raid and hand these in. If you die with these on you, you'll still need to go back in and pick them up again. Database Part 2. For this one, you need the Ollie Logistics Key, which is located on Customs near the wall jump over in the boot of the car. You can buy this one on the flea market, however, and it usually is quite cheap. Once you have the Ollie Logistics Key, you need to head into Interchange and head to the Ollie Logistics room. It's located, if you're looking at the front of Ollie, to the right hand side of the store. There's an extra little back area filled with computers and offices. You need to head into the office area there, unlock the door, and you'll find the manifest on the shelf. Once you've looted the documents, head out of the raid and hand them in. Minibus. This one requires you to head into Interchange and mark 3 minibuses across the map. 2 are located underneath in the basement area and 1 is located to the right hand side as if you were looking at the mall from the front. If you were standing at the direct center of the mall at the front entrance, go to the right hand side from there underneath the basement. Directly to your front, you'll see the first minibus. After you've marked that one, head past the ramp to Generic and go to the minibus in that direction. It's located right near the killer's hidden doorway, which is located to the left of the minibus. After you've done that, you can turn around and then head towards the Ollie side of the basement. Push outside into the open area and you'll see a caged off, fenced off area with blue fences. Once you go to that open area with the blue fences, head inside there and to the back left-hand side of that area, you'll find the minibus parked in between all the shipping containers. After you've marked them all, survive the raid and hand the quest in. So at Good Part 1. For this one, you're required to find the ski hat with holes for eyes and also the Pilgrim Tourist Backpack in raid and hand them in. Now, you should be trying to find these early on before you even get to this task because it can take some time to find them. These previously weren't required to be found in raid, but they are now, and it might change again in the future. For me, I found the Pilgrim Backpack by just going into a scav run on the factory and getting lucky, but you can actually spawn in as a scav with a Pilgrim Backpack, so you should always be resetting your scav when you get the opportunity if you're struggling to find certain task items. The ski hat with holes for eyes, you will find them on scavs that you kill over time. They're not super uncommon, but you will need to survive the raid to have it with the found in raid status. So at Good Part 2. For this one, you're required to hand in a Gazelle with 0 to 50% condition, as well as a fully or 50% to 100% condition one. You can buy these purely off the flea market. Otherwise, you can find these on scavs when you kill them, and you will be able to get the destroy ones that way. But they should be fairly cheap on the flea market, depending on what time of the wipe there is. So at Good Part 3. Now, if you're lucky, you'll have a 6B43 still from your Edge of Darkness account that you didn't use for the entire time, but a lot of people will have already used it. If you don't have an Edge of Darkness account, you will need to be able to get one of these. You do have the option of getting the 6B43 armor via Moonshine and also Vodka, or you can get another one from using 25 bear dog tags above level 30. Otherwise, go look at the flea market and see what the cheapest price you can get, but it can be quite expensive for this. So at Good Part 4. For this, you're required to find 2 TV rigs in raid and hand them over, as well as 2 BlackRock chest rigs. Now, the TV rigs are very common and you should be able to find them fairly easily. But the Blackrock rigs, the easiest way to find these rigs is Rashala's minions on customs. So go into customs, kill the scav boss and his minions, and you should get 1 to 2 per time each time you kill him. Survive the raid and get out and be able to hand him in that way. If you can get your hands on one of these early and save it, it will be a big advantage later on. Blood of War Part 2. You're required to find 4 fuel conditioners in raid, and this one can be quite annoying if you haven't saved any up by the time you get to this task. The easiest and fastest way to get these fuel conditioners is on labs in the robotic arms area of the main area in labs. However, with the amount of people with super sweaty gamer chairs on this map and the difficulty of getting out to keep it defined in raid status, this would actually no longer be the easiest way of getting it. There are actual fixed spawns on other maps inside Tech Light and around Interchange, but it is quite rare to get the spawns to pop up. So my actual suggestion with this would be search every single duffel bag you can possibly find. You can also search the bunkers in reserve. However, it's still not a super common spawn, but I always use those bunkers as a good place to just go if you want to top up on money anyway. Blood of War Part 3. You're required to go into Woods and mark the 3 fuel stashes across Woods map. The first one is located near one of the bunkers. When you're at the bunker, you want to head towards a path that leads up a hill. When you crest the hill, you'll see some giant rocks, and next to the giant rocks, you'll see the fuel stack. Once you find the stash, you'll be able to mark it right there. The second one you need to mark is located near the big rock. I kind of think of it as Pride Rock from The Lion King. There's a little like divot inside that you can go into, and once you're inside that little cutout area, there's a couple of weapon boxes. Next to the weapon boxes, you'll find the fuel stashes. Third and final one is located on the Scav House side of the map. You kind of want to go from Scav House past ZB014, and you'll see big rock. On the other side of the rock, there'll be 2 crates, and there'll be the final fuel stash located there. The key to success. For this, you need to head into Interchange and get the clothing design handbooks. There's one located on the bottom floor and the top floor. For the bottom floor, the first one is located across from Coston. There's a bookstore. Head into the bookstore. It's like the 2nd or 3rd bookshelf down the bottom. You'll be able to see it. Just loot it from there. The next one is located on the 2nd floor on the tech side of the actual top floor. There is like a gaming / bookstore. Inside there on the ground, you'll find the book located. Living High is Not a Crime Part 1. For this, you need to find 2 lions, 2 horse statues, 2 cat figurines, and a roller in raid and hand them in. There are some fixed spawns of the bronze lions in Idea, but the rarity of them is actually quite rare. So I would actually suggest either going into Shoreline and checking the golden loot spawns and the resort spawns in there. There's plenty of options you can go for there. I'll have them highlighted on a map right now, but East 310, East 222, East 205, and West 220 all have gold spawns where you can get lions. And the next best way, and this will cover for the lions, horse figurines, and the cat statues, is on safes. Now, there's 10 safes located on Shoreline, and there is 9 safes located on Customs. If you search all these safes over and over again, within probably 100 safes, you'll actually find nearly all these items. I'll have a link below down to my 400 safes, Are They Worth Looting It video, and you'll be able to understand how safes can actually be really good for making money and also being able to find these items. For the roller, you can also get these from safes, or like I described before. Another good spot that you can actually find all these items is the management office on labs. However, getting out of the raid and also going to the management office is quite difficult. You need to weigh up your options there. Living High is Not a Crime Part 2. This goes very close with Part 1. Antique teapots and vases have pretty much the exact same spawn chance and table as the lions and horse statues, etc. So what I would highly suggest is constantly be looting these safes to get all the items required for both of these tasks. Start looting all the safes. You'll find antique teapots and vases there. You can also get these from the management office on labs, all the rare spawns on Shoreline as well. Charisma brings success. For this one, you're required to get level 10 Charisma. The easiest way to level Charisma is to loot everything off a player or a container and then just throw it on the ground if you don't need it. So if you've got to a player and you kill them, but you don't really want their gun, if you pick up their gun and then throw it on the ground, then you'll still get the Charisma XP or skill points required. So if you really want to try and level this quickly, that's the best way of doing it. Generally, by the time you get up to this task, you either got it already or you're close to it. So I wouldn't stress too much about this one. The other thing about Charisma, at this stage in 0.12.6, there is still no actual benefit from leveling Charisma. So even if it's on level 51, it doesn't give you any bonuses. No fuss needed. For this one, it's simple. You just need to have loyalty level 3 with Therapist. Watch the Therapist task guide if you haven't already to be able to get this task completed. Supervisor, this one requires you to hand in a Goshen cash register key. Now, there is a spawn for the Goshen cash register key on customs in the bus by the new gas station. However, getting this key is super rare, and your best option if you either want to find it yourself would be jackets, as well as checking the bus, or just buy this one on the flea market. Scavenger, this task required to get level 9 search skill. The way search skill is leveled is by every time you completely search a backpack, rig, pockets, any sort of container, from a person to an object. If you completely search it, you get 0.3 of a skill point. Now, with diminishing returns, it means you probably only need to search about 15 things a raid till you cap this out for a raid. So that would give you about 3 skill points. By the time you're already up to this task, you should only be 1 or 2 levels away from completing it. And if you do a lot of searching, then you'll have it already done by the time you get up to it. The stylish one. This one requires you to kill Killer 100 times. Now, Killer has about 6 spawn spots within interchange and can roam from those spawn spots. What I would highly suggest doing if you actually want to complete this quest quickly is go into an interchange raid, pop an SJ6 stimulant, which will give you a lot of extra stamina and stamina regen, and then start sprinting to the middle of the map. Once you get to the middle of the map, you patrol each of the spawn locations, you check all the locations, and if not there, you leave. If you're there, you kill him, grab his stuff, and leave the map. It's easily the fastest way of doing this task. If you have trouble killing him, you can full auto leg meta him and it will stun lock him. Or you can use high pen ammo and penetrate his armor and face. But because his helmet's got such a high armor durability and tier level, it's just going to be a very difficult task. So chest or legs is the way to go for Killer. Textile Part 1. You are required to find the Aramid fiber cloth, the ripstop cloth, and paracord and hand them in once found in raid. Now, the paracord is easily found on reserve. There's a heap of locations you can find it there. Also, you can find them in duffel bags quite often, but not super common. Next best thing for the ripstop cloth and the Aramid is you search all the clothing stores for on the ground. There's like shelving on the ground or anything like still the cloth can spawn there. You need to pick up all the cloth you can, because for the following quest you also need to find cloth as well. So if you don't need it for this one, you're going to need it for part 2. Textile Part 2. This one requires 10 cloth found in raid and 10 Cordura found in raid, and then 5 Keck tape. The Cordura and the fleece are both found inside the clothing stores, and the next best option for the Keck tape would be to go into Ollie and search all the shelves in Ollie. Once you've found all these items, you hand them in and you've unlocked all the clothing for the Textile Part 1 and 2. So guys, thanks for watching another video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. It really does help out for the YouTube algorithm. I'm trying to put out all these task guides as quickly as possible, but if you are after any other guides for me, go down below, hit up the description. There should be all the other trader tasks, as well as you can subscribe and hit the notification bell for the latest information that I am putting out for Escape from Tarkov. If you got any Tarkov questions, you can feel free to hit me up on my live stream. I do stream on Twitch every day of the week, so you can go down the link below over there. Otherwise, hit me up in the comments. I try my best to reply to as many as possible. Lastly, guys, I'll see you next time.